Welcome back to another weekly to-do list on how to gear up as well as more. As always, we'll begin with our Great Vault, which of course is located in Donegal at this location. Let's see if I get something good this week. Even though I have 3 mythic items to choose from, they're all a thing that I really am crazy about. I'm probably going to hold off on my choice until later on. Maybe I'll even take, the tokens to open up a socket on one of my items. I was really hoping for like a helmet, gloves, legs, or boots so that I can use a catalyzer to have a mythic piece of tier set. But unfortunately, I got some other trinkets that are not really something I want to use. I hope your decision was easier this week. The next thing we have to talk about are the weekly quests. There is a new event going on this week, which I'll talk about as well. So first off, you're going to get your quest here for your 1,500 Crest Trust reputation if you're still pushing the reputation for this Renown track. This week, you're going to be doing the Arakara dungeon. You can do it in any difficulty you want, including follower dungeons. Now, since this week is also the War Within dungeon event, this means that every single War Within dungeon is going to award an extra item at the end of the dungeon when the boss is defeated. But there's also a quest that comes along with this that has both Renown and a free heroic piece of gear. And that will be from this NPC right over here, the Archivist Frithran. You'll see here there's a quest called the Emissary of War. Complete 4 dungeons on Mythic difficulty. It can be +2s, it can be +10s, it can just be generic Mythic. And this will award you with a cache that will give you a 694 eye level heroic piece of gear. It's also a new week for crafted gear. You can make your 4th crafted item this week. You'll just have to go ahead and get your 2nd Fractured Spark of Starlight, which you can usually get from quests like this one over here, the High Speaker Brinth. You'll see here when a quest has this weekly activity icon over here, this means that it will guarantee you a Fractured Spark of Starlight as a reward for completing this quest. And the quickest way to get these Titan fragments is by doing a tier 1 delve. They typically award 33 to 34 at the end chest, and it takes like 2 minutes to run them. So 6 minutes to get your Spark of Starlight, which puts us at 2 sparks, which means we can convert this into, its actual Spark of Starlight so that we can craft a 720 item. You will have to make your way to this location over here. You will have to go to this NPC in front here, Cyanite, speak with this NPC, and you'll have to spend 60 gilded ethereal crest that you will have to collect. I save up from the week before every time it's a crafting week to buy this over here. This allows you to turn your craft into a 720 item. When you have your crest and your Spark of Starlight, you're going to go to the crafting orders over here and you're going to search for the item you want. In my case, I'm actually going to go for a ring, so miscellaneous finger, and I'm going to do the Ring of Earthen Craftsmanship. We have to make sure you select the spark, the correct one, Spark of Starlight, like this. Buy all of the resources in the highest quality. And then for your optional reagents, you should already have your 2 embellishments on your first 2 crafted pieces of gear. To customize my secondary stats, I have the Elgari missive of the Fever Flare, which is going to give me haste and mastery guaranteed on the ring, which is what I want. And to infuse with power, we have to use the Enchanted Gilded Ethereal Crest to increase the item's eye level to 720. So add that. And then you're going to go ahead and either set this as a guild order or a personal order. I wouldn't recommend using public order because they can give you any quality, means that the ring can come out at 707 instead of 720. It's really a gamble. But with guild order or personal order, if you find somebody in trade chat, you can always set the minimum quality to the maximum, which guarantees the item to come out at 720, like this over here. So this is what my final item will look like when I get it, which is going to be a nice big increase for me for either of my rings, to be honest. And then when you're ready, you'll just place the order and wait for your guildmate or person to make it for you, which should show up in your mailbox. Now I want to talk about crest trading quickly. So when you actually have all of your pieces of gear above 704, you'll get the Ruined of the Ethereal achievement, which is actually going to make it so much easier for you to get gilded ethereal crests, especially if you're not really doing mythic dungeons and so. When this is the case, you can make your way to this location over here in Donegal, and if you go inside here, there's an NPC here who will exchange crests for you. Now you only really want to look at the ones that cost 45 because these are upgrades. So this is going to turn the Weathered Ethereal Crests into Carved. And then you can use the Carved Ethereal Crests to turn them into Ruined. And then you can use the Ruined Ethereal Crests to turn them into Gilded Ethereal Crests. So typically I just buy a bunch of these. At this part of the season, you should have so many of these. And with this achievement, you no longer need the lower ranks here. You can see here, I'm buying like tons of the Ruined ones. I'm literally going to cap my Ruined Crests this week just from this. And then you can go ahead and buy even more Gilded. So you'll see here I have all of these little things in my inventory, and now I can just buy them, and they're just going to give me crests until I reach the weekly cap. I'm already full on carved, and I cannot use this item anymore. We can use this one now for ruined, and this should cap me on ruined crest for the week as well. And it looks like we're capped on ruined, and I still have some extra left over, and I have 90 ruined ethereal crests to spend. And now I can go ahead and buy some more gilded ones. You can see here I'll be able to buy another 30 gilded crests. So that means I was able to buy 45 gilded crests from the shop this week, just because I'm already over 704 for all of my items, which means I can use this and gain, the 15 gilded ethereal crests 3 times. Now, before we go to Koresh and talk about gearing, let's talk about what's happening later this week. On the 19th, or Friday, you'll see that there is Pirates Day. Pirates Day is going to be a thing that you can do, and you'll have to head over to Booty Bay, which of course is at the southern end of the Eastern Kingdoms over here, Booty Bay. You can go here and you'll be able to do some Pirate Day quests and stuff to get rewards, transmog, and other toys probably. So make sure you check that out. And also on the calendar for at least EU servers on Tuesday, which is going to be the Americans reset day, but is still within this week for EU, is going to be Brewfest. Brewfest begins on the 23rd and will come with its own weeklies and events and stuff that you can do. So keep those in mind this week. Moving into Koresh, we have the Reshinor world boss that we can go ahead and do. And here he comes, bruh, he just burnt that bird. Look, I have the same bird. He just burnt the same bird that we have as a mount in the game. When you defeat the world boss, you will get a guaranteed 688 warband item that you can use on any of your ults to gear them up. That's really only the reason you're going to do this besides the 300 reputation. As always, in Tazavesh, we have the Warrant board. If you haven't done your 6 warrants, you can continue this for the mount. And even if you do have the mount, doing these for reputation for the Renown track for the Koresh Trust is also helpful. You also have the quest over here from Constable Zoardes for the More Than Just a Phase, which also awards you the Koresh Trust. So if you're still trying to boost this trust up until Renown 20, keep doing these quests every week. For the next weekly activity, we have the Ecological Succession for the Wriggling Pinnacle Cache Chest, which I'm still trying to get the frickin' mount from. But we also have some other news in this area, which I'll get to in a bit. But first, let's go ahead and pick up the quests. As usual, the quests that you really want to pick up are the ones that drop 300 Renown reputation. Those are really important. Some of the other quests will not drop the Renown, so be aware. Each of the quests that you do will give you 20% to your progress bar for the Ecological Succession, so you just only need to do like 5 of the quests. You should also know that for the Slateback Alpha and the Zooming Necro Ray, if you challenge these and you win a race in the challenging mode, for beating both of them in the challenging races, there is an achievement, so you can always try for that too. I'm winning. After completing the Ecological Succession, you'll get the Wriggling Pinnacle Cache, and if we open this, we hopefully get the mount. Man, dude, this mount doesn't exist. I swear to God, it doesn't exist. I'm still trying to get the Curious Slateback. But there is another mount that you can get from these quests over here. Next up, we're going to talk about a mount you can get over in the Oasis for completing all of the quest lines for the Ecological Succession campaign. This is for getting the Otherworldly Ecologist achievement, the Ecological Variety, for doing a daily quest for each of the 7 types of animals, as well as, ensuring that they've all been integrated by doing the campaign quest. After you've gained these 3 achievements, you will see that this NPC over here, Venari, will have a quest that will reward you the Resplendent Karok. This quest is called the Hope of Koresh. This will play a short cutscene that you can watch. After watching the cutscene, you can collect the mount from the NPC. And that is how you're going to go ahead and learn it. I'm trying to show you guys what the mount looks like, but the camera angle for what the fuck? The camera angle is so weird. Why is it so high up? And this is what the Resplendent Karok mount looks like. In terms of delves this week, nothing's really different, but I do have some new tips that I learned from you guys in previous videos. So first off, the first delve you complete every single week will give you an item, which is going to be the Archaic Cipher Key, which gives you a quest that allows you to progress your Delver's Journey. So if I go ahead and I hand this in, you're going to get 1,500 Delver's Journey and undercoins for doing so. This allows us to progress our Delver's Journey in the War Within Season 3. We're making our way towards the end. But also at the same location over here where you hand in the quest, in Dornagal, you can go to this NPC, the Delve Treasures, And you can buy this item over here, the Shrieking Quartz. It's a little expensive. It's 2,000 undercoins, but it will guarantee that you get a Delver's Bounty map. Sometimes you can actually get this in the Delves just as a regular reward. So I'm going to buy one here just to show you how it works. So I have it in my inventory. And what this is going to do, it's going to summon Kaivesa to your location immediately inside the Delve. But you want to do this during a tier 11 Delve. So I'm going to use my Delvobot toy, which will take me to a Bountiful Delve across the map, wherever one is. It looks like it brought me to the Bountiful Delve in Crest. If we go ahead and interact with this one, we're going to set it to tier 11, which is going to give us 3 gilded stashes per week if you do it at tier 11. But we're actually going to use the Delver's Bounty map that we get from this exact same Delve at the same time. So if you're not really pushing Delves and you only just want to do one, this is the perfect setup. You're just going to do a tier 11 and you're going to get the Delver's Bounty during this tier 11, use it, and claim the reward from the same dungeon. So you'll see how this works. We're going to start the Delve. After you reach your first Restoration Stone, you're going to go ahead and use the item in your bags, and this is going to summon Kaivesa, who you'll have to defeat up until 50% of her HP before she leaves. And keep in mind, you do actually have to beat her. If you die, you've wasted the whole item, so make sure you win. You'll see at 50% HP, she will decide to leave, and she'll leave an item on the ground here. You'll open up this cache and you'll see inside this cache, it's going to have a champion piece of gear and the Delver's Bounty map, which if we use it during this Delve, it will guarantee the reward at the end of this exact same Delve. So you only have to do one. And you'll see at the end room here, we have our gilded stash for these 7 gilded crests. And then we have the hidden trove, which is going to give us another 10 gilded crests, as well as a heroic item. So you can do that all in one Delve, which is really nice. In case you didn't know, in Tazavesh at this location over here inside the building, there's actually a portal to all of the Bountiful Delves that are currently active. So you can actually see here, there's the Delve headquarters in Dornagil, which is actually a quick teleport back. Here you have the Bountiful Delve in the Waterworks, the Archival Assault that we just did, the Skittering Breach, and the Dread Pit. So you could literally just like run through one of these portals and quickly arrive at a Bountiful Delve across the map, like here. And then for normal progress, you're going to do tier 11s at least 3 times to get the 3 gilded stashes. And alternatively, just tier 8s so that you can get a guaranteed 694 heroic item in your vault if you're not doing mythic dungeons or raiding. In terms of mythic dungeons, nothing's changed. Just push for your 10s to guarantee a mythic item in your vault every week. If you can't do so, at least do 7s so that you can get gilded crests, or if that's too high, 6s to get heroic gear at the end of the dungeons. Also, don't forget to do 4 mythic dungeons for that quest to get a free heroic item this week. And good luck with your weekly grind for this. In terms of raiding, you can reach Renown 7 with the Manaforge Vandals, and at Renown 7, you'll actually unlock a quest called Behind Enemy Lines 2, which gives you a further 3% increase to your damage and healing within the raid. I quickly did this morning in Raid Finder. I jumped into the first 2 wings. You only really have to do 1.5 until you'll get the full Renown. And once you hit Renown 7, you will get a quest called Behind the Enemy Lines 2, which takes you back to the raid over here to this NPC. And once you complete the quest, you will gain the buff. And now I'll do 6% more damage and healing in the raid. Currently, our guild is progressing on Demencius in heroic difficulty. Hopefully I'll get my curve soon. Let me know in your progress in raiding in the comments down below. In terms of PvP, you can pick up your weekly quests in the foregrounds of Dornagil, right here. And at this location, you'll pick up the quest from this NPC. There's one for completing 12 rounds of solo shuffle, whether you win or lose. There's another one for obtaining honor in epic battlegrounds, also not too bad. And the Sparks of War quest this week is in Aj-Kahet, which again, if you recall from my previous videos, just pick up any treasures, kill rares, and find the diggable purple dirt patches around the world to get the sparks while you're in war mode. And that's it for the week. I hope you guys have a good one, and thank you so much for watching.